Southampton, Leicester City playing to a 1-1 draw. Southampton down to 10 minutes into this game. Vestergaard sent off for a challenge on Jamie Vardy. The goals coming in the second half. James Ward-Prowse from the penalty spot. Johnny Evans a few minutes after that. What does it mean for the top of the table? Leicester City very confidently sitting in third, 8 points clear of fifth place. 5 games to go for most in the league, 4 games to go for Leicester City. Stevie, let's start in studio with you. Leicester City had a man advantage for 80 minutes of the 90 in this game, yet they only come away with a point against Southampton. Good result or bad result?
Listen, this stage of the season, it's about getting points. Now, certainly playing against 10 men, we expect Leicester to take the 3 points, which really would have, in my opinion, meant that's it, done and dusted, top 4. But to go one behind, then it's turning into a bit of a disaster. The fact that Johnny Evans got an equaliser in the cold light of day now means it's another point towards top 4. And the fact that 8 points clear of fifth place West Ham, with West Ham with 5 games to go, West Ham's not winning 3 of the 5 games. Because that's what would have to happen for West Ham to get more points than Leicester. And that means Leicester not picking up a point with the last 4 games. So in the end, it's a good result because it's another point towards being in the top 4.
Right then, Craig, should Leicester City feel good about a draw today?
You know, at the end of the day, when you're playing against a team that go down to 10 men after 10 minutes, then you'll be, I think, disappointed that you didn't get the job done. But ultimately, they've dragged, as Stevie said, they've dragged another point out. Now, bearing in mind they blew a gasket last year and ended up out the top 4 when it looked like they were going to be in it, it's just another little edge towards it. But the one thing I would say is, in the chasing pack, and I know we're going to talk about Liverpool in a bit and how they really can't afford any mistakes, is West Ham have the easiest run-in. I mean, I know it's unlikely, but apart from Everton, all the other teams they play are like Brighton and Burnley and teams like that. So I wouldn't be giving up if I was West Ham when I look at the schedule that's ahead of them.
Shaka, Craig mentions the collapse there for Leicester City last year. What's the difference between this year's Leicester City and the one that collapsed 12 months ago?
I think that this team this season just learned from those mistakes of last season. And I know a lot of Leicester fans were a little bit concerned a few weeks ago that it was going to be a repeat of that same collapse, but they've turned it around. And I think this team, just given their experience, know a little bit better. But to your initial question, I think Leicester City are disappointed with dropping 2 points against a 10-man team, Southampton, who've been plummeting themselves. And those TV says that he doesn't expect to see West Ham win 3 of the 5. As Craig points out, it's not that tough a running. Ultimately, I still think that Leicester finished top 4, so it doesn't cost them. But if you're Leicester City, if you're a fan or you're sitting in that dressing room, you can't help but feel that that was an easy 2 points dropped.
Jan, they did, as Shaka mentions, drop those 2 points today. You see any chance of a repeat of what we saw last year with Leicester City?
No, I don't think so. I think I agree with the boys with where they have learned from those mistakes, and Rodgers as well learned from those mistakes. And I see it a bit differently. If you have a look at the table, that was if they got away before the game, they would say we go to Southampton and get 1 point. Yes, I see they play 11 against 10, of course. But if you also see on the table, they have a good goal difference. So better than some of the most of the people in there. So I think that Leicester will be okay there. And yes, they have the teams will meet each other, and West Ham have the easiest games to go. The problem with West Ham, West Ham is even better playing against the good sides, because then they can play on reaction instead of all the action in themselves. So I don't think that West Ham will go all the way. I think that West Ham will be happy with Europe, and then it's up to the Liverpools on Sunday to show it against Manchester United. They're going to be the main contender.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.